night's game, the little master. And can I say, brilliant to have Hamish McLaughlin with us on Saturday Night Footy, and we're ready to get this one underway. Hammer, over to you.
Thanks, Stars. Great to be here. What an important match it is.
And Tommy Lynch has got the match up with Liam Jones, as we thought so before the game.
So the Suns a game and percentage. Out of the 8, Ablett through his fingertips. Chance for Rosa, little give, not quite swallow. Then had Petreski-Seaton put the tackle on him. Remarkable to think, as we said moments ago, Richo, that after Richmond's loss today, if the Suns can grab a win, they're just a game behind Richmond, but there's no such thing as an easy night. Carlton trying to make it 2 in a row.
They're hard to play against the Blues.
Murphy, who's had a fabulous season to date, puts it into space. Ed Curnow gets there in the end. Doherty, well done. And it's just worked on again to Murphy, who's had the first interrupted pre-season, and it's shown in his form this year. Casbolt claimed that he was manhandled, umpire having nothing of it. So wet underfoot, particularly on the wings, but for the moment clear.
Looking forward to this ruck battle between Cruiser, who's in really, really good form, and so is Jared Witts. He's been a great recruit up here for the Suns.
Every single player that's run past Gary Ablett has given him a hit and shoulder. They went at him before the first bounce. And they are right into him at the moment. Oh, nice kick from Bryce Gibbs. He got a good bend on it. Couldn't quite get the journey, though. Off hands through for a minor score.
Gibbs started in the middle, opposed to Gary Ablett.
Play on.
So one of the co-captains in May picks out Hanley, who's added a bit of spark from halfback for the Gold Coast Suns.
Move it on, play on.
And he does exactly that. So Lynch, Jones, rejuvenated Liam Jones, going with Lynch early. Cripps found Charlie Curnow, and then Marchbank had the ball, couldn't quite get boot to ball. Well done, Thomas. Feeds it back inside. Williamson, quick thinking. Lynch got involved. Boundary line has a win.
Jacob Wiedering opposed to Peter Wright. Liam Jones, Tommy Lynch.
Great story on the Liam Jones really comeback from in the wilderness to now trying to play a big role at halfback after spending 5 years at the Dogs and a couple of years at the Blues, where he could just muster 17 games. Joyce was clever, worked it to Hanley, sidestep to the outer side to Ablett as Gibbs bearing down on him. He knew it.
Play on.
The attention continues on Gary.
It's an interesting target, isn't it? One of the best players in the history of the game, who's been tagged for the majority of his 299 games. Not 100% sure that they'll have a negative effect on the little champ, but watch that one unfold. They've got a bit of space here, and a fumble from Hall. I was disappointed with that.
I was amazed at the stat during the week. 52 times he's had over 30 and kicked multiple goals. Gary Ablett, it's an unbelievable figure, and it's miles in front of anyone else.
Lee Matthews next.
Yeah, I think Lee was 39 or 40, so that shows you just how good he is.
He's in the frame here now. Cripps picked it up and dumped it forward. Fortuitously landed in Charlie Curnow's lap. Out the back, Petreski-Seaton. Pearce Hanley has given away the free kick. He's a talented player, this young man, Richo.
Yeah, he is. Back into the team tonight, out with soreness last week, but well done, Charlie Curnow. May sifted off him a little bit. May was wanting to sift off an intercept. Curnow came at the footy, played in front, and he was the man that kicked it in to this man here, who was a super talent.
He's picked 6 in last year's national draft. He's one of the favourites for the Rising Star Award, the Nat Rising Star. And now some fairly steady rain falling here at Metricon Stadium. And they would like this to be a low-scoring game, Carlton.
Yeah.
Prefer it to be an arm wrestle. This will be a nice start. Petreski-Seaton, too good a player to miss from there. Carlton get the first. Little wry smile from the Irishman, Pearce Hanley. Grabbed the arm, had to be a free kick. So Carlton get the ideal start away from home.
So here's the clearance situation here, and a quick kick out. You can see Curnow playing in front. May sifted off. May wants to intercept. That's his game. Has to play on Curnow there, though, and that creates the goal.
Ablett quickly just works it to half forward. Lemons on the end of it. Marchbank putting a lot of pressure on him. Lemons tries to break free, but Marchbank, who's been so impressive since arriving at Carlton, locks him down.
Yeah, it's a good back 6 now. Young, Marchbank, Plowman, Wiedering, Liam Jones back in there. Then you got the run of Doherty and Simpson.
Murphy just feeds it back. Well, that was brilliant from right. Ends up with Sexton. Peter Wright, take the back. Lightning quick. Sexton gets the goal. We spoke about Peter Wright before the game and how he's emerging as a player. That wasn't a big grab or a big long goal late in the game. It was just clever. Yeah,
it was very, very good work by Peter Wright. And as a big man, you just can't rely on marking the footy. A bit going on again. Big Witsy wanting to protect his little fellas in the middle. That's what he's got to do. So Jared Witsy's had a couple of clean hit-outs so far in this game, and well done, Peter Wright. Came at the football, dished it off and created that goal. Wits again, getting some good looks there.
Cripps to Doherty. Tough one to mark.
Holding, Savani, Carlton, hold of the arm, get Jesse Joyce.
Very clear instructions from the umpire there.
Yeah, good call, clear free kick to Jack Silvani.
What can Jack do? He's got a nice lead presented by Casbolt. Beautiful pass, and they picked their way through the zone defence with ease there, Carlton.
Yeah, they did. It was too easy for Casbolt in the end. I think he got a block. He got a block in the goal square, which allowed him to get so much space, and well used. Good kick from Silvani. This will test Levi. He's been good on the set shots this year.
He sure has, Richo. You just saw 15-4 from set shots. He's 18-6 for the year. Really improved as part of the game. That'll go across the face, I think, but it's a better ball drop. He makes better connection more regularly. We know that he can always do this. His hands are sensational.
Yeah, well done. It was Dale Thomas there that put that block on. Team play from Thomas. Yeah, and you're right. It's really better, his ball drop at the moment.
Well, May got one presenting himself, and it's Ainsworth who had an anxious moment late in the game, and a reprieve after the 50-metre penalty was awarded his way. So Liam Jones winning the ball in the air while he's being held. Yeah,
that's the first one-on-one contest we've seen go to those two players, and Jones wins. Well done.
So the younger of the Kernos, not quite against Jesse Joyce, in front of the Blues interchange gate. Well, he's going to get the free kick.
Yeah, he is. And each week you're seeing Charlie Curnow gradually develop as a key forward. The push in the back there. Once again, he's coming at the football. It's what you want your tall forwards to do. And you can just see week by week, he's gradually getting there, Charlie Curnow.
One of the 3 20-year-olds for the Blues out there tonight. They've got 4 teenagers out on the ground, Carlton. Well, this is what Luke Darcy was talking about moments ago. One of the best marks in the game, and he's straightening up his kicking to become a very valuable asset for the Blues. Creeps around and puts it into the pocket. A bit of a wait for Daisy Thomas. Used his body well. Well, Willis was just out-fought in the end.
10 metres out. Keep pushing back.
So Thomas will come around.
And does. And goals. Blues have got a couple. Young player against a very experienced player. Thomas did it all well.
Levi Casbolt started the game beautifully. Contested mark, invaluable. Down the line, contested marks. The 2 key forwards, Curnow and Casbolt, connect. And this kick that we'll see from Casbolt was just perfectly to the advantage of Dale Thomas. This was a brilliant kick by Levi Casbolt. That is exactly where he wanted that kick to go. He saw Thomas and he put it to his advantage. And not a difficult kick, that, from Thomas. Quite an easy kick now these days, the way they kick around the corner.
It's a good start from Carlton. They're the lowest scoring team in the game. They've become very hard to play against because they're so good defensively, but if they can add a bit more potency up forward, they're in good shape. And that was one way off the footy.
Brandon Tera. Not sure who it was against us.
Felt like that was the non-controlling umpire in defence paying a free kick. It's going to be an opportunity now for Lonergan, and Barlow, the hard-running Michael Barlow, has slipped in behind the defence, and the former Fremantle Docker can get the quick required.
Smart player, Michael Barlow. He knows where space is. Has to use his smarts. He's not overly quick, Mick Barlow, but an intelligent footballer. And both teams getting marks inside 50 early.
Just consistently finds the ball, this man, averaging 26 disposals this year. He's played every game, crossing over from the Dockers. Always going to be to the right, that one.
So both teams using the ball pretty well early in this game, particularly inside 50 on a bit of a slippery night.
Richo, we spoke about the inability of Carlton to score 100. They haven't for the last 22 games. You feel like tonight is an opportunity to break through that barrier.
Yeah, they can be transitioned against to the Suns, so they'll have a real opportunity tonight to do that.
Well done, Lynch. Thought he might have the opportunity to fire away.
The Suns do move the ball well from their back half of the ground. They're number one in the comp, going from defensive 50 and having a forward 50 entry, but on the flip side, the Blues will get some looks the other way.
So that's Gary Ablett's night right there. Either Ed Curnow in his face or another Blue just passing by, just making sure he knows they're all about the place. It started before the bounce, and Gary hasn't been left alone. What have we played? 10.5 minutes. He's had someone harassing him throughout.
He's had 4 disposals and a clearance and 2 contested already.
And looks completely unfazed by it, Richo.
No, he's used to it.
Just not even entering his mind that that's going to be an issue. It's been a bit of a theme in recent weeks. We've seen players, it's the old-fashioned in the gun. Here he goes, the little master. Flipped that one over his head. Only as far as Gibbs. And now Boakhurst dumps this one down the line. Casbolt started well. Well done, Charlie Curnow to right. Stepped around his man a little too easily. And this is Cunningham. So some of the new faces for Carlton is the NAB Rising Star winner from last week. Pops that one to the pocket. It's a beautiful pick-up from Barlow. Under a bit of pressure, though. They're going to keep it inside forward 50 here. The Blues. Simpson's a clever player. He's got the release back to Cunningham. Beautifully smothered off the boot, though. The Suns can regroup to Ablett. Just wants it out of there. It will be coming back, though, because it's all Cup.
Doherty, plenty of time. Just weighs things up. And then a driving ball to about 30 out. Casbolt, a big fly. Not quite for Lamb. A lot of Suns where the ball landed. In the end, Lonergan to Kolodjasny to Ablett. Back to Kolodjasny. And around the corner, one-on-one on the outer side. Doherty, front spot against Wicks, went into the tackle. Barlow got rid of the football. Cruiser.
I just heard you say Doherty with plenty of time, Hamish, in your call. The Suns don't want to hear that much tonight. He's had too much time and space recently, Doherty.
Searching ball from Cruiser. Again, it's Casbolt who crashes into the pack. Fisher to Gibbs. Kick was smothered in the end. Cunningham went without it. Hanley grabbed hold of the football outside of the boot. Bouncing ball, easily picked off by Plowman. Again to Doherty. Again with too much time. Again, it's Casbolt about the place, running past his right, but again, boundary line in the wrong spot.
We saw the Swans target Jason Johannesson last Thursday night. The half-back flanker with metres gained, and that's what Doherty does for the Blues. You need to have someone on him. He does too much damage if he gets it 28 times like he has been.
A nice forward press going here, Carlton, at the moment. The Suns are having all sorts of trouble getting out. Hanley went low, kick out of the pack. Not on line from Daisy. But they won't mind this. They're building a serious amount of pressure. Look at that. They've got all their players pushed up that deep, away from their defence, and they are being really aggressive with this forward press. Liam Jones, a little overzealous.
Yeah, the 8-2 inside 50s, and that's that really good defensive setup that you spoke about. Really disciplined at the moment, the Blues.
Just need to find a bit more of the foot of the Gold Coast Suns. They've got 10 players still yet to have a possession, and that was chopped off pretty easily there by Marchbank.
On the flip side, only Wiedering hasn't had one for the Blues, Das. Every Carlton player's getting involved.
There are those numbers, 30 plus and 2 goals. Gary Ablett and Lee Matthews.
Look at the names there. Gary Wilson was a star for Fitzroy. We know how much Swanee loved getting the footy, and Kevin Bartlett, so there's your Hall of Famers in that list.
Gary had the ball and had it stripped by Lockie Plowman. Martin fired it back in Gary's direction. Pinballing the ball at the moment. Curnow, Ed to Gibbs. And then to half forward again. Casbolt looking really lively and likely tonight. Fisher went searching for the ball. Matera was in his way. Thomas just bullocks his way through. Creates a bit of space. Swallow couldn't. Gibbs could and gave it to Cruiser. Over the top wanted Ed Curnow. Lemons crashes into Curnow. Ablett couldn't get his hands on the football. Ainsworth could. Just pushes it forward again. Then again, easy pickings. Well, Simpson a little fumble off the ground to a couple of Blues and just the one Rosa. Now to Charlie Curnow. Low ball is good.
Started nicely, Levi Casbolt. So too Daisy Thomas.
Good ball use. I love this sort of ball use, Carlton. Casbolt's just getting to heaps of contests. He's already taken 3 marks. I reckon he's been involved in 7 or 8 contests.
Bryce Gibbs with a bit of time and space. Happy to put this one in the dangerous spot. Out the back, Cunningham. It's going to be a Carlton free kick directly in front.
It's Curnow.
Let's have a look at the replay. Joe, what do you think of that one?
Well, the hands are in the back, and Curnow, when you feel that contact as a forward and you're already jumping, you're always going to probably put a little bit of mayonnaise on it, but it was there, and he's presenting. So their key forwards are getting involved in plenty of contests, Curnow and Casbolt.
This man was picked 12 of the 2015 draft, Charlie Curnow. This only 1 game this year. And it's a nice start here for Carlton. They lead it by 13 points. And a number of the Blues fans have made their way up the Gold Coast with a mid-year break. Not the worst thing you could do. And they were pretty happy. Their side looks like they are on. They are a much more competitive team, Carlton. They had a very good start here at Metricon Stadium.
As we've seen, guys, the ball spent plenty of time on the deck. It is greasy and slippery out there. The rain has stopped. It was skiffy earlier, but this forward pressure that Carlton admitting it's just keeping the ball in their half, giving themselves plenty of pressure, chances on goal.
Well, Dockett again, firing it forward. Stephen May in the right spot. Well, here's a chance for Lamb. He's got the pace. He gets to it before Joyce. Happy just to take it off the ground with the hands. Thought he might have gone off the ground. Gets the free kick. And suddenly an opportunity for a 4th.
Well, it was a definite free kick. They're just getting spanked in the contest. Oh, he ducked his head, though. He ducked into that.
And Fisher might have put Joyce into Lamb. Regardless, it's a kick at goal to Jed Lamb.
Once you bend over and pick up the footy and then you duck further, we don't want to see that. But it's been paid. Once you pick it up, you've probably got to come up, not go down.
So you're at the Swans. A couple of years as a Giant, now trying to find his way as a Blue. 13 points the margin before the kick.
Probably a little bit of justice there. You see it here, he's picked the ball up and then ducked. They don't want to see that, the AFL. And there's the contested possession. That's where they're getting towed up, the Suns.
I love watching this man with the footy in his hands. Richo Sardi always takes them on. He might have bit up more than he could chew on that occasion. Fisher's quick. And again, Carlton applying all sorts of pressure. Murphy, was he taken high? Jesse Joyce, the tackler. Now start again. This time he decides to get it out, but their setup's really good, Richo Carlton.
If he's the last man in line, they'll never get through with Doherty. He just reads it too well. Beautiful setup. The Suns have got to hold a forward back. They're all getting sucked down, and the Blues have just got players behind the footy. They'll never get through.
Yeah, they need to readjust, Richo, don't they? They've found it really hard to get past the defensive part of the ground, and Carlton, they don't mind doing this either. Had 101 uncontested marks last week.
Thanks, Ben.
They don't mind just holding on to the footy.
I just think you've got to put time into Doherty. He's already had 8 disposals. If he has over 30 and has allowed space, the Suns won't win.
Play on.
So the Blues again, easily enough to half forward. Lamb, who missed the last, between a couple of Suns, works it on. So now Cunningham, the rising star nominee, his performance against the Giants, terrific. Again, Casbolt just approaches the pack, nothing really doing. Fisher just went without in the end. Petrevski's seat knocks it towards Matty Wright. Casbolt couldn't take it cleanly. Cunningham fires at goal. So it's going to be a tricky one for Murphy from here, but he's a good player. Works it back to Lamb, tries to take on May. And then Ainsworth went without it. So too Wright. Martin got hold of the football, lost it in the tackle. Lamb's attack on the player was good. And that's sort of symbolic of the Blues' night, desperate for the footy.
Yeah, they've had close to 50 touches in their forward half of the ground. The Suns have only had 8. And if you look down there now, look behind the football, and Doherty and Simpson are loose. Exactly what Carlton want.
Just a little more hungry. are the Blues. Petrevski-Seton duck. The umpire correctly calling play on Murphy. They are all over them at the moment. As Gibbs pops this one, Fisher's got to be courageous. He committed himself out the back. Oh, Doherty came crashing through. Puts Sard under all sorts of pressure. Joyce is going to feel some more heat. Well done, Fisher. Again, White had his head taken off. And Carlton outstanding.
And Doherty there, he was loose behind the ball. I know we're talking a lot about him, but when the appropriate moment was there, he went down and got involved because he knew he had Simpson patrolling behind him.
Super impressive start this from the Blues. Matty Wright had a couple of goals and 16 disposals last week. They were big goals too. Become a very valuable player. Has not missed a game since crossing to the Blues at the start of last year. He's given great value. This will test him though. I really feel like they deserve a bigger lead than 14 points. He's put that one just to the near side, so margin out to 15. But wow, could be a whole lot worse.
Gee, it's 36-15 now, contested possession. I'm pretty sure Rocket wouldn't like that, Das. You know him pretty well.
No, he won't be happy.
It's 12-2 inside 50s as well, guys, to Carlton. They need to start hitting the scoreboard and make the most of this dominance.
So Swallow just works his way through half-back, but nothing really doing again. And then Plowman happy to retreat to Doherty, who'll set things up again through the middle to Petrevski-Seton. One of the two changes for the Blues this weekend. Ian Boakhurst coming into the side, Petrevski-Seton to Gibbs.
Hold.
And going forward, they're doing it with a lot more ease than the Suns, Richo.
Move it on. Play on.
Again, it's the Blues driving the ball forward. Daisy Thomas got a couple of Suns to beat. Charlie Curnow comfortably to brother Ed. How about that? Brother to goal. Great embrace. Probably one of your dreams is to play with your brother, and they are doing that out there now, and then to work together to find a goal for the club you're playing for. Terrific.
It'd be a pretty special feeling, wouldn't it? Ed been around for a while, honest player, and Charlie's just improving each time you see him play.
Be a proud moment for Mum and Dad, wouldn't it? Watching the two brothers. And look at that. That's a family photo to cherish. Goal each for the Curnows. And Carlton, they are way out in front at the moment. It's 21 points on the scoreboard, but they are dominating in every area. Fisher sends them forward again. Kolajasny back there. This is Mackenzie Willis, who makes it a little hard for Sard. He got rid of Petrevski-Seton. Tried the don't argue. And now Ablett, who they've put a lot of time into. And Curnow again fighting back hard in there. Joyce over the head was Plowman. Nice attack from Cripps. We've just seen they've been consistently attacking the footy stronger Carlton. Now one-on-one. Can Charlie Curnow get past? Leslie went back. And it will be a free kick to the Suns.
Carlton are ranked 18th in clearances in the AFL this year. They're having a big win there as well. The Suns just, I don't think they're ready to go.
10-5 clearances, 13-2 inside 50s.
And 42-19 contested.
And 57-27 in terms of disposals. So they're ugly sort of numbers right now for the Suns. Sully, anything obvious to you that you would make as a change if you're Rocket E?
They've just got to win the footy, the Suns. They're getting out-muscled in every contest. They just cannot get their hands on the ball. Gaz is having no impact. He's having plenty of the ball. They just can't get the game played in their half whatsoever.
41 more disposals. It's a 21-point lead. Chance for Thomas. He's already got one. In the end, Mackenzie Willis to Kolajasny, and then the clearing kick, a dangerous one. Plowman arrived at the contest, tried to knock it to ground, did that. Barlow, though, got to his feet quicker. Dancing around at half-back. Back he goes, and then a hurried ball again to the wings going to come back. All march back.
I'd be just evening up the numbers now if I was Rocket Eade.
Didn't need to be an experienced lip reader to get hold of what Rocket was thinking there.
Yeah, they've got some issues, Gold Coast. And now Carlton just going to uncontested mark form. And they're doing that with these two, so they're able just to pick off leads at will.
Hold there.
Yeah, Doherty. This has really been a pattern of play for Carlton along the way.
Well, they're sifting back and are just allowing Carlton to gradually creep down here.
So now Silvani through his hands, out the back, Pearce Hanley. Can he launch some run from half-back to Hall?
This is what they want. They get back because they want to link up and then transition through, but they're doing this. They're giving it straight back.
Turned it over horribly again.
Turnovers, they're horrible numbers at the moment. Petreski, Seaton. Again, just 3 or 4 obvious options. This time it's Plowman who's been doing some miles around the ground. So the Suns, as we said, a game and percentage out of 5th coming to this round, trying to make it 3 in a row. The Blues trying to make it 2 on the bounce after beating the Giants, and it's the Blues who have started dominant fashion.
Well, they're on target to have well over 100 uncontested marks, Carlton. They've got to just man up and tighten up for a while, the Suns. Get into the contest. Then they can try and get their own game happening.
Wright hurried the kick, had to. The one-on-one, won by Kolajasny to Ablett. Took it low, took it clean, and then works it to full forward. Lynch has got Jones. Jones arrived great, just did enough. Worried Lynch. Might have got hold of the football, knocked at the ground, lost to hands. Couldn't quite control it. Lonergan went searching, couldn't find his man. Martin gets involved. And then Jones again, somehow, over the top to Petreski, Seaton. Inside handball to Wiedering. Outside to Boakhurst. Then over the top. Almost for land. Arriving late was Sard. Cleaning up was Leslie. It was about as deliberate as you can make the ball look without getting pinged, you'd suggest.
It's a nice start for Liam Jones, Richard. A couple of big one-on-ones. He's just found a way, hasn't he?
Just did enough there. I reckon Lynch would generally mark that. His contested marking is a little bit off this year as compared to where it's been. He's only averaging 1.7 a game this year, and that's his lowest since 2012. Yeah, there's the free kick there.
Pretty obvious one, that, against Jack Leslie. I'll tell you what he'll run down and blow the siren himself in a minute. He just won't be able to work out why his side has come out and been so flat. Credit to Carlton. Set up fantastically well. Petreski, Seaton, Jack Martin. Good hard contest, that one to Sard, but he looks up and he's got nothing. So they've got to try and take the risky option. It's just not working. Sexton should have been holding the footy. Barlow flicked it out the back. Kolajasny, good tackle. Pressure again from Wright. Dragged it under, did he? No, with 45 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they want
first quarter.
They want to run and link with those handballs through half-back, but the Carlton pressure's really good, and they look up, they want to get rid of it and dump it forward, but they just kick it straight back to Carlton.
Murphy and Gibbs, almost cleanly for Gibbs the first time, had to go at a second time. Barlow was waiting for him. Cripps, Curnow, and then Cruiser off the ground, inside 50 again, but this time Kolajasny waiting. Have a look at this, 3 Blues at the fall of the ball.
They'll go back to Simpson if they need to. They don't have to on this occasion.
Well, Lemons was never going to win that battle. 3 Blues and just he charging at the football. Over the top to Murphy. He in turn to Silvani.
Oh, there.
He ran past 2 Suns defenders there, Silvani. I think Rocket's going to be pretty annoyed at this quarter-time break.
Lamb over the top. You've got just a couple of seconds. Can we take a grab if you're a Blues fan? Over the top to Wright. And you suggest it's going to be a steamy Rodney Eade at quarter time addressing his troops. The Blues 4-4, the Suns 1-1. Quarter time, it's Carlton by 21 points.
From the Suns this quarter.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times. Rocket Eade quarter time spray. Put the fear of God in your hammer. He won't be a happy camper. I think he'll be disappointed that they've been out-muscled. Their effort's been stronger, Carlton. You can rectify a bit of the structural stuff, but they just generally need to go a bit harder, I think, Gold Coast.
I don't know any coach that would get into quarter time and see minus 26 on the contested chart and not be really disappointed. So expect a fired-up Suns here.
Ablett found early possession. And now the Blues have just had everything going their way. really have set up nicely. Casbolt started well. Leslie tracking him. Can he keep it in? The big man, he can't.
I mean, it really, sorry, Das, it was annihilation, really, if you look across all the stats. So to be 28-7, only 21 points down, if you look at the positives, it's probably a good thing for the Suns. They should be 6 goals down.
Cruz has been in really good form, averaging over 20 disposals last month. Cripps goes off the ground. Now, Casbolt doing some ground level work. Cunningham couldn't quite take clean possession. Now Barlow, this is where they had real trouble in the first quarter. They just could not get through their back half of the ground, and again it's all Carlton across this middle part of the ground.
Well, if they get smashed around the contest and the Blues get first use of it, they'll never score because they cannot get through this Carlton defence, launching everything from half back.
Well, Plowman started at half back and works forward of the circles again. Big fly. The younger of the Curnows already has one. Looking for 2. Blues looking for their 5th.
They've got to get something happening in the middle of the ground because they're never getting first look at the footy, the Suns. And Carlton then set up how they want, and they've got 2 forwards, Casbolt and Curnow. And this guy's emerging in front of your eyes, Charlie, each week. Said it a few times now, but look at that, 8 disposals. His work rate's been enormous tonight. Deserves this goal.
Ankle and glandular fever last year. Season derailed. A miss, but the movie started well if you're a Blues fan. Horror show in the first term for the Suns. How do they respond?
Kolajasny. It's not a lot of great options for the Suns. He's trying to find a way through, and in the end, that was almost out of bounds on the full or a mark to Wettering. In the end, it's neither Wettering saying, well, what happened? Juggled over was the bound out by score, Richo.
I think it was the right call.
I think Richo being out there before the bounce, this is the wettest part of the ground.
Yeah, it was. Fair bit of rain, as Sawley mentioned in the first quarter.
So the Suns have had a chance to reload a quarter time, but so far it's more of the same. Good attack on the footy from Fisher. Dispossessed. Can Rosa get through? Well done, Doherty. Ed Curnow's a strong man. Hard to tackle. Gets it forward. Daisy's been pretty good tonight as well. Out in the Murphy direction. Gets past Willis to Lamb, who's been prominent. Kick out the back. Curnow. Some support from Kolajasny defensively off the ground. Silvani couldn't quite get it on line. But again, it's just Carlton consistently attacking.
Well, Witts was chosen, easily found in the end.
This might be the first time they're going to get through, but a poor kick from Witts. Well, there's Simpson. He was to loose that time, got over to support.
Skipped through into his hands, and now to Cunningham. And surely we speak about this young Blues outfit. Get to in just a moment, but a lot of the young Blues looking unfazed. It's a young side, surely, but not perhaps as young as we think.
No, well, funnily enough, average games for the Blues is 84. For the Suns, it's 81. These sides, demographically, in terms of average games, is evenly split. But as we're seeing tonight, attitude is everything, and the Blues are just dominating across the field.
Doherty, he's had it as he liked for most of the first term. Pinned there. Simpson had a heap of the football as well, just trickles the ball over.
He's had 13 disposals. Doherty at 100%, 200 metres nearly.
Speak about the Blues age profile. 4 teenagers, 3 20-year-olds, and 8 of the Blues out there with under 20 games experience.
Frustrating night so far for Tom Lynch and the Suns forward. They just haven't seen any action. He kicked 7 goals in round 4 when these two sides met. Now here's a chance for Lynch, albeit a fairly slim one. And when he has that opportunity, how well has Liam Jones done? Great story for Carlton.
And take a bow, Paul Brodie, who was the recruiter at the Blues, that said, why don't we throw him at halfback, build his confidence, see what happens. Well, plenty's happened.
Sure has.
Big tick. Look at this, though. Just too easy.
Silvani's found space. Kick out the back. It's just perfect for Casbolt. He chips it in short. Rosa saves the day. In comes Daisy Thomas. Great courage from that man. Play on was the call. And they just whipped it down from one end to the other with ease.
It's not too often, but it's almost like a training run out here. Just the Blues are using the Suns as witches' huts at the moment.
Well, a free kick has been picked out. and this. Let's have a listen.
Move out.
So Daisy Thomas has got a great opportunity to pour more damage on the scoreboard. He'll be disappointed in the end. So let's have a look at, Rosa.
Oh, that's,
Well,
pretty stupid, really, with the umpire standing right there.
he might be in a spot of bother, Hammer. Matt Rosa, he might be looking a little spell, I would have thought.
Tell you what, you spoke about a training drill, Sully, moments ago. We went to Shanghai to watch this side play Port, and we're excited about what we thought we were going to see. We saw one-way traffic. It's not dissimilar now, but the Blues, with 4-7, haven't really made them pay perhaps as badly or as much as they should.
No, they really haven't. The Blues inside 50 count is remarkable, 23-5. It's they should be much further in front, to be honest.
This team focus on Ablett. It continues. Every player's trying to put a hit on Ablett when they can. He's probably the only son who's holding his head up, though, on the stat sheet, if you look at it that way, but hasn't been effective, really.
Cripps somehow to Gibbs, got rid of Martin. Then Cruiser, not for the first time, tried to soccer the ball forward. Slippery part of the ground. Fisher handles it like a dry day, and then Wright has his kick smothered by Hanley. So a pedestrian type of start for the Suns. Blues by 24. All the attention from the Blues towards Ablett. He's had 11 touches for the evening so far. Inside 50 count right now, 23-5 as Gibbs just works it to Simpson.
Reverse. I'm reversing against you, Gabriel, pushing his head down. You push his head down the ground.
He's getting frustrated
now. You had the free kick
now.
and you pushed his head down. I will, Gary. Come back on. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So initially it was...
He's getting really frustrated now, Ablett.
So perhaps they are getting under the champ's skin. This is Williamson who sends it forward. Big contest behind Casbolt. They just look listless, so Gold Coast. They've got possession now. Can they get something going? Lemons has got to contend with Doherty. First man arriving always seems to be the Blues. Plowman back to Doherty. Support from behind. Wiedering stepped around Lemons with ease. And then spotted up a target, Murphy. Queuing up in the middle of the ground too. Look at this, Simpson. Just have had all of the territory available. Simpson's kick misses a target, but you don't have to worry about it because Curno's got time just to waltz after it. And back to Simpson. It's just been one-way traffic. I'm just waiting for more damage on the scoreboard again. Casbolt from behind. Good piece of the mark. Cripps fighting hard for it. Cruiser lurking as well. A lot of numbers around it. And umpire letting it go. Murphy, a little soccer toe poke in the direction of right. Over the head of Murphy again to Sard. Can he set that something up? Just decides that getting it out of there is the best option. Well done, Liam Jones again. He's been good on the one-on-ones. Ablett wants to take a bit of the body. Now he's got a good tackle on Simpson. Ball spills out the back. In comes Cunningham. Rosa kicks it down the line to a one-on-one. Wiedering too strong for Lemons. Got rid of him. Hanley back to Lemons. Still trying to find a way through. Martin, Lynch. Almost the first time I felt like I've called his name, and he gets it short to right.
Now driving ball to a one-on-one. Barlow just gets rid of Fisher, gets to the front spot, but 3 Blues now at the fall of the ball as Barlow works it to Sexton. He's the lone goal scorer for the Suns. Got at the 4-minute mark of the first term, and since then the Blues have dominated the Suns inside their forward 50. So one of these teenagers in Wiedering, Jones, almost off hands easily the Blues, and the run continues. Now Thomas, nothing forward of the ball for Casbolt. How's he going to work it over the top? He does to Cruiser. Got one running inside, misses the ball. Not sure whether he lost it in the lights then, Cruiser, but it is the Suns now at half-back. Leslie from Hanley. Tumbling ball to Peter Wright. And for the moment, the Suns with some space and some time. Hall over the top has a runner on the end of that, diving and sliding, and now a chance for Martin.
So let's have a look at this here. Gary Ablett's been the focus tonight. And even young Tom Williamson, who's only played a few games, he's getting involved at putting a bump on Gary Ablett, and he's getting really frustrated with it.
What did Danny Glover say in Lethal Weapon?
I'm too old for this. Great movie.
All 46 of them. So Jack Martin, can he get the Suns second? 4-goal game, feels like more. Umpire shuffles, Suns get their second, Martin gets his first. Blues lead by 3 goals.
Unbelievably, they're only 3 goals down halfway through the second quarter. And if you looked at the stat sheet, I think they were 10 goals down. So that's the only saving grace at the moment for the Suns, who probably can't get any worse in this game. But the scoreboard's okay for them. So if they can start to generate something around the football, they might be back in it before you know it.
There's your last 10 scores in the game. 8 of the 10 Carlton, and Ablett, who's had a fair beating tonight, takes a bit of a rest.
Incredibly, they're in front on the scoreboard this quarter.
Matera. And they build some momentum on the back of it. Simpson's played that sweeping role regularly. Swallow met him with some physicality. That's better from the Suns' point of view. Through came Lonergan. Caught his own handball. I'm not sure if that's legal. Martin tried to get it at ground level. He's a clever player, Cripps. Really clean below his knees. Petreski, Seaton, Sard got hold of him. Starting to lift their rating a little bit. Gold Coast thrown out by Rosa. Sard always wants to take the game on. Pops it to the goal square. Lynch from the side. Martin first to recover is Sexton. Good tackle from Bokhurst. Lynch at ground level. Slapped out of the hands of a Gold Coast son. Bokhurst, a little chipping ball. Not sure about that. To Daisy. Rosa slaps it back. Sard's got Swallow on the boundary line. Make it Lions. Bending it around the corner. Lions kicks a miracle goal. And they've got 2 in a row, the Gold Coast. And Brendan Bolton, who knows his side has absolutely dominated, just has to go back and suck it in for a little bit, get some composure, because that isn't fair. They have dominated this game. They deserve to be more than 2 goals in front.
They certainly have dominated. Das, 4 goals, 7, and some easy misses kept the Suns in the game. Really smart tap back there, and then a good underground handball from Sard, and that is a great finish. Beautiful finish. Well done, Sard. Takes the game on, makes things happen.
Here they go again. So Lions kick the last and tries to make it 3 in a row by going in the Lynch direction. Jones keeps it in front of him. Simpson, this time after an initial fumble, heard the umpire play on. Barlow does exactly that, goes looking. Couldn't find either of his men. Ball ended up just being booted to the wing. May and Silvani on the outer side. Jack might have held on a little long. Umpire didn't think so. Petreski, Seaton, happy to accept the May handball and then just work it forward. Should work out okay here for the Suns. Mackenzie Willis around the body. Then a pack forms right. Got a left hand onto it. You're going to learn a lot about the Suns in the next 2 and a bit terms.
Yeah, we are. Ablett's gone forward now, and Doherty's the match-up, and he's coming up towards this stoppage. Doherty backs off. The Marchbank picks Ablett up.
Casbolt, Witts, the former Magpie. Looked pretty good this year for the Suns. Now Rosa. Back to Sexton. They've got even numbers forward. But
I would have stayed forward then I was Ablett. It would have made Doherty honest, and he ends up getting it.
And now they link up with the loose man here, Carlton. Simpson finding a lot of the footy as always. That's disposal number 15. Petreski Seaton's got an issue now. Play on to call. Lonergan Lynch wants it over the top. That kick's going to favour the defender. Front and centre Lynch, the big man doing the role of the rover. Couldn't quite get it. Petreski Seaton back involved. Murphy, that was the look away take. High degree of difficulty. Ed Curnow, 2-on-2. May in good position, slaps it towards the boundary. Jesse Joyce can't keep it in. Let's have a look back at this one, Richo. Is this a mark?
We're going to find out. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah, that's a mark. And he didn't play to the whistle, though, Petreski Seaton. He just automatically assumed it was a mark, as you would.
Pretty stiff.
But your coaches always say play out to the whistle, don't they?
You can't take it much lower than that.
No.
Arm against the ground. Ball never touched the ground. Petrevski-Seton absolutely had a case.
It is a good lesson, though, isn't it? You do have to wait for the umpire to pay it.
You can see now the Suns are starting to even up the contest around the ball. Simpson's still back spare behind the ball for Carlton. Suns should consider maybe evening up those numbers, which I've spoken about, to equalise those numbers forward and at least get a contest when they punch it forward.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Sawley.
Well, the Suns have got the last 2 goals. 24-point lead has been wilted away. 12 now. Boakhurst going to try and make it 18.
So you'd love to see what happened then after that stoppage. To allow Boakhurst to spread out of the stoppage and run into the middle of the ground, that's pretty sloppy. Look at that there. To be able to run in there, no one was anywhere near him.
So first game of the year for Boakhurst. Last 2 goals are going to the Suns. Inside 50 count, still heavily weighted in favour of the Blues, but 11 scoring shots to 4. They've been inaccurate, 4-7. That's what they needed, the Blues. Get a little bit of momentum back out to 3 goals. So Blaine Boakhurst's first goal of the year, first outing for the Blues. Had his opportunities in spits and spurts over the last few years as a Blue, trying to cement a spot. But the Suns, Richo, we've spoken about it, what they have as an opportunity this year is an opportunity they haven't had before. They're knocking on the door of the 8. They're at home against the 16th side.
I know, a huge opportunity. They've got to take it tonight. Let's just have a look at this play here. You can see Boakhurst there. That's Aaron Hall. Just didn't concentrate. Was on him, got caught ball watching. That was really sloppy from Hall.
Cripps again, first possession, cleverly got it down to Gibbs, and here come Carlton again via Ed Curnow. Standing in the way is Jack Leslie, much improved defender. Saad, shaped to take it on and then release Jesse Joyce. What can he find through the middle of the ground? He can find the number 4 draft pick from last year, Ben Ainsworth. He's an impressive looking young player, Ainsworth. He gives it everything. He's got long. Lynch tried to take the hanger. Jones has been outstanding tonight. What a revelation he's starting to become. Out to Cunningham. Now Doherty, not his best kick. That might have been out of bounds, and the forward is.
Interesting to note, Gary Appleton had the 1 touch this quarter, but the Swans are back into the game. Their hunger and thirst for the contest around the ball has been much stronger. The reliance on him just hasn't been there.
So May looking for Peter Wright. Won't get in the end, doesn't need to. Lions, uncontested front spot. Kick the last for the Suns. Lynch hasn't seen a heap of it. Well done, Wiedering. Knew he was going to go long around the corner, put himself in the right spot. Boakhurst with some damage at the other end of the ground. Does a little bit of mopping up, and he's been pinged.
Arm free.
Big tackle.
Had the arm free.
I think it was Lemons.
Make a genuine attempt. It's a perfect tackle.
Perfect tackle, but gee, he didn't have any prior opportunity. I'm not sure that's holding the ball, because you've got to have some chance, don't you?
He's saying the arm is free, so you can drop the ball onto your boot. Asking a fair bit. I'm not sure I'm agreeing with it, but that was the clear call from the umpire. Your arm was free, let the ball go.
We'll play that in real time in a moment, see how much time he had.
It shows you they don't mind you dropping the footy now. You virtually can just throw it out if you get tackled.
Yeah, good.
So Lemons to make it 3 of 4 in this term, and well,
don't give one away.
Not a good feeling that. We missed one of those home.
That was almost a fresh air swing from Lemons. just made connection with the footy.
And every Carlton player would be saying something to you, and you know how ordinary it feels.
Kate Simpson to Carlton. So the margin is just 17 points. And that gives the game some hope. It gives the Suns some hope. All the quality play really has been Carlton, apart from a few individual moments of brilliance for the Suns. Silvani's competing well. Saad got the timely fist in. Now Kolajasny under some more pressure. Saad to Pierce Hanley. This is a better build-up. Handball from Swallows been broken up by Boakhurst. Back to Cripps. With a great ability to find space where there isn't a lot. Cripps to Murphy, to Silvani. He's just starting to find his feet nicely. Young Jack Silvani at AFL level gets better and better each week.
See a bit of this in August over in Vegas, won't we? Mayweather and McGregor.
Might see a little more action than that, I think, when that one gets underway. 9-11 for the year, Jack Silvani. He's starting to really grow as an AFL player. This is the part of the game that he would like to get right, just stuck it in from behind.
Yeah, but he always presents to the ball carrier. Him and Curnow, they're really honest forwards. They keep coming at the ball carrier and creating space behind them, which Brendan Bolton would love.
So the Blues now 4-6 from set shots. A couple of them in the pocket. One was for Casbolt. It was tricky. One from a similar spot, but a few just a little too easy to be missing. Lemons, he missed one at the other end moments ago. Martin kicked the first for the Suns in this term. Plowman, Simpson, beaten to it by Wright. Clever little tap to Lynch. Almost off to Ainsworth, and then he's coughed it up. Plowman, Marchbank. Clever kick over the top to Doherty, who's just about brought his own football tonight. Looks inside, nothing really doing. Then down the line, there's Daisy Thomas, Matty Wright, and Cunningham. So he goes over their heads to tall timber. Cruiser, Casbolt, Murphy at the fall of the ball. Fisher might not for Fisher, but for Thomas. Over the top, Sard interfered with Wright.
Well done, Sard. He was out of position there, and he ended up getting the free kick. He's been pretty good, Sard.
I called that completely wrong. I thought Sard was doing the interfering, but not at all.
Yeah, it looked like that to the naked eye.
Oh, Sard's taking him on as he always does. Now he's got an issue. Well done, Wright. Always know you a chance. Always got the high one, Sard too. Daisy got him. Carlton lurking. Lonergan tries to get it out. He's in a bad way down there, Sard. Still fighting for the footy at ground level. Jesse Joyce in there, and he hasn't got up. Adam Sard. Let's have a look at the replay of this. Big hit. This will be a good look at it. And it was his back in the end. So I reckon that was great commitment from both players. Accidental collision.
Both players are there. The ball is right there. And the timing was that they just both connected at the same time. I think that was just a clash of two really committed players.
Sully, you're a bit closer to that than us. What did you make of it?
Yeah, fantastic commitment on behalf of both players, I thought. No troubles there whatsoever.
It's just they're still ushering Adam Sard off the ground. The umpire's just throwing it up.
I think he's going to be okay, is he?
Let's have a look at this in actual speed. So there's the footy. Both players committed.
Just better use of the body by Daisy to protect himself.
He turned at the right time.
Yeah, he did.
We say it often, but gee, it's a tough game. Two committed players at full speed.
Suns would love. If they pinch one here, they go in with so much to fix, but only 2 goals down.
Silvani and Kolodjasny. Silvani has a win, and they keep it in the Blues. Right outside of the boot, floats towards Daisy Thomas. He ends up with a football. Read it better in the flight, got in front of Leslie. Missed one moments ago. Let's see if he can bring up a neat half dozen for the Blues before half-time.
He's done some nice things tonight, Daisy. Involved in the forward half of the ground.
There's small moments, aren't they? Kolodjasny and Silvani on the other side. Ball kicked towards Kolodjasny, sat in the air for just a little too long. Jack Silvani got there, forces the contest right on the outside of the boot. Thomas reads it best. Thomas gets another. Blues have got 6, and it's back out to a 4-goal lead.
He's played well the last few, Daisy Thomas. It's good to see. A lot of injury issues over the years. Plenty of critics as well. But I reckon he's playing the footy Bolton wants him to play at the moment. Making a real contribution. 24-point lead now at half-time. They deserve to be at least that far in front, Carlton. Great first half.
So this is Gary Ablett on the interchange, just having a few words down there, and a frustrating night for him. They They've had him in the gun tonight, Carlton. Make no mistake about that. They've gone after him every time he's been out there, and obviously something troubling him down there. Any ideas, Sully, what that was about?
I couldn't, not in a great position, you can't see, but Sard is just collecting himself back on the bench there as well. I'd be surprised if we see him back out there again. The Gold Coast certainly need him. He's been so creative off half-back, always taking the game on.
Yeah, he's been one of the most effective players, Adam Sard, so we're hoping he's okay.
Do you reckon Adam Sard has any idea where he's going when he starts his run?
No.
It's so brilliant to watch. It's like Leo Barry-esque. Just take off, and where he stops, no one knows.
And I think he's got a licence to keep doing it. I hope he has, because it's brilliant.
Play on.
Now the Blues, with a minute 20 remaining in the first half, have been super impressive, just taking a bit of the slower option off the hands of Bryce Gibbs. He's going to get a free kick as a result, though.
All of their senior players are playing well, Carlton, as Sard goes into the room with the doc to be checked out. They're leading well. Their leadership group, Doherty, Murphy, Simpson, Gibbs, all playing great footy.
You talk about the 200 gamers going well, and those players with less than 22 also having an impact. Murphy.
They look to have a real belief in their system, Carlton. And once your players believe in what you're doing and buy in, that makes a world of difference.
Seems to be great chemistry across half-back.
Yeah, there is. The backline, the synergy amongst that backline group is really good.
So enough time for a score either way. Fisted across from Marchbank. And a 4-goal lead with a bit of rain falling, wet conditions, is a pretty significant margin as we go into half-time. Cruiser. Edgewitz underneath the footy. Bokhurst wanted to go back to Bryce Gibbs. I thought they found space a little too easily at times in this first half. They've got a bit of work to do, Gold Coast. Charlie Curnow competing well at half-forward. Pierce Hanley trying to get it forward. Under 30 seconds remaining now. Slippery footy for Gibbs. Got it back to Marchbank. Zach Fisher was trying to gain a bit of territory, and he couldn't keep it in either.
So here we see Simpson. This has happened for the whole first half. It's been Doherty, it's been Simpson, it's been Plowman, just sitting back, last in line. It makes it hard for Wright and Lynch to get anything going down there in that forward line. They've got to change that after half-time. They've got to just go one-on-one for a while.
They've been sweeping and tightening things up. Those list of players that Richo is talking about all too easily. Murphy, he took a bit on then and then just ran out of options after dropping the football.
So Simpson's had 18, Plowman's had 13, Doherty's had 21, and they're the players that have played that role at various stages.
So if you've just turned the television on, Blues by 21 at quarter time. About to 24 points a few times, and that is the margin at the long break. So it was 4-1 in the opening term, 2 goals apiece in the second term. Suns trying to make it 3 in a row. Blues trying to...
I think there was a strong contest on both players' behalf, and he should be fine there. But finally, Sard is on the bench and looks like he's going to resume for the Swans.
Thanks, Sully. There is Matt Rosa and Daisy Thomas. Been pretty impressive tonight, Daisy, along with a number of his Carlton teammates. So we've got the second half underway. 4-goal margin it is in favour of the Blues. Big Witz gets this one to the edge of 50.
Holding, Gold Coast.
Lemons has drawn the free kick there, Richo.
Thank you.
Yeah, good start. So they get the first clearance and a chance to get the first goal.
They need to get this man in the game, Tom Lynch. Liam Jones has done a good job in the handful of one-on-ones they've had. Hall, pretty quiet in the first half as well. That's a little better, but well done. Bokhurst, timely fist to Lamb. And now Wright, twisting and turning, and this man's played the quarterback role with great style so far in this match.
18th touch for Simpson. Into Petrevsky-Seaton. Well, another low mark again. Not awarded. And then Wright ran out of options. High ball to the wing. Floating back was Jared Witz. Quickly moves it by hand. Rosa has a running haul. Takes a little off the kick. A sliding Ainsworth, probably 5 or 6 strides too far out.
Applett's playing deeper forward.
Not in his pocket on this occasion, and again, Plowman.
It's against Jones.
Held him.
He tried to do the right thing there, Liam Jones. He saw Plowman coming in from his right, and he just wanted to keep Lynch away from the footy, but as you can see, they took his eyes off it, blocked Lynch, didn't give him a chance to come back at the footy, so that is a free kick. The umpire was right there.
So Tom Lynch hasn't registered on the scoreboard yet tonight. It's been 24 points a number of times. The Suns have got it back to a 2-goal game. The Blues have always responded. It's been a bit of a tale of the night from the Blues standpoint, and now the Suns getting it to Lemons late in the second term, and Lynch to start the third.
Yeah, missed some easy set shots, both teams. So let's see if the Suns can make those Carlton defenders more accountable in the second half. That'll be the key to this game, and whether they can get back into it.
5-6 to 1-3 set shots now.
Good contest from Levi, and a bit of an acrobatic move there on the boundary line as well. The end result is the Suns keep it in their forward half of the ground. And Tom Lynch, he's found the going pretty tough tonight. Lack of opportunity, and a bit of credit to Liam Jones as well.
Yeah, only 15 inside 50s, and Jones has won some one-on-one battles.
Nice ruck work there from Witts. It was a clever play from Lyons. Had a piece of the mark. Lemons picked up by Barlow. That one across the face. So Martin and Plowman. And a boundary throw in. But at least this is a bit of time in forward half to start the second half. Repeat inside 50s, Richo, and maybe the Suns can build on the back of this.
Didn't see this in the first half. Repeat entries, some stoppages in their forward half.
Witts just saw Jack Martin running to his left, knocked it in that direction. Curnow, though, Ed got involved. Cripps off the ground. Works out OK for the Blues in the end. Right to Boakhurst. Oh, clean hands by Jed Lamb. So Lynch hasn't kicked a major yet. Kicked 7 last time they played against each other. So the Blues have done their homework.
It's even numbers, though, now. Across the whole ground, we have even numbers. That's the first time tonight, I reckon, I've seen it at a stoppage.
Leading the race was Boakhurst. Rosa worked him off it. Still a fair bit happening between Ablett and Ed Curnow.
So you have a look there on your screen at pairs everywhere, even numbers. Didn't see that. So the Suns need to try and maintain that to try and get back into this contest. Carlton been fantastic.
I mean, they're playing with a 7-man forward line at the moment. The Gold Coast Suns. They've hacked that ball forward. Ablett, that's been paid for deliberate. And again, they make some physical contact with Ablett. Not sure about that one. I think he's just generally trying to get that footy forward. Not sure if that was deliberate, but at least they are, as you said, Richo, they've got man on man. They're making it a bit tougher for Carlton to exit their defensive half. There's Ablett, beautiful clean hands. Can he find a target? Ainsworth. Second effort was pretty good. He might be in trouble, though. He's dragged it under. Like, eventually comes out. Boakhurst off the side of his boot. Can Rosa keep it in? He's got Pierce Hanley. Slid it back in the Irishman's direction. Boakhurst wraps him up. Martin circling the footy. Over the top of it, Cripps. And eventually the umpire says, give it to me.
Yes, Sard riding the exercise bike, but we saw that kick out of defensive 50 from Docherty. He just had to go long down the line. In the first half, he would have had a spare number back. They would have been able to get the switch happening.
Well, Ablett just waiting for it, but it didn't come out. He's in the right spot, Gary, there. And he all night has had someone just running into his back, his shoulder, his front, in his ear. At the moment, he's got Ed Curnow, so a couple of Mottawarri boys.
I saw that with Jason Johannesson last Thursday night in Sydney. I reckon the Swans put a couple of 100 little bumps and hits on him. It just wears you down by the end of the night.
They got the first 2 of the second term, the Suns. Got the margin back to 12 points. Barlow kicked one last week. He hasn't been able to find one so far tonight. Goal scorers for the Suns. Sexton in the first, Martin and Lyons in the second. 4 goals to the Blues in the first, and then Boakhurst and Thomas late for the Blues in the second. Haven't really got the Suns on the canvas yet tonight. They've been knocking them around since the opening bounce, but it has been within that gettable range all night, Das.
And it still is. Hammer at 22 points. The Suns, you feel, are a bit better organised to start the second half. Carlton having to work hard to get it out of their defensive end. Cripps wanted Petrescu's seat, and this is good. Young man Mackenzie Willis, just his 5th game of AFL football. Dumps it back long. Jones from the side elects to go the spoil. Through the lap of Fisher. Oh, that was a strange kick in the end. Almost shinned it to Bryce Gibbs. But they're applying some forward pressure. Well done, Willis. Equal to the task, though, was Cripps. And now Simpson. Down the line, Cruiser won the battle out the back. They might make the pay. Lamb. Leslie's got to get across. If Lamb could pick it up, he's got Casbolt. An underground ball. Levi picked it up. Pierce Hanley. Oh, good tackle, Pierce. Almost should have been rewarded. He just dropped it cold. Leslie back in there again. Lamb got hold of him. Joyce wants it over the boundary line. Murphy's there. Play on's the call. Witt's tackle was good.
That was your call earlier, Das. You almost are allowed to drop it out.
Is this holding the ball or not, Richo?
Well, he had opportunity there. He had opportunity to handball it. He didn't, and then he didn't dispose of it. That was holding the ball.
Witts knocks it. In the end, wanted Rosa. Couldn't quite find him. Sard back on the ground, which is good to see after that heavy collision with Daisy Thomas late in the second. There is Thomas and Sard again. Fighting for the same football this time. Joyce works it to Rosa. Doesn't have a lot of room to work in, Rosa. Couple of steps and hoiks the ball out of defensive 50. Ablett takes it cleanly. Off to Martin. Didn't know Gibbs was bearing down on him. The advantage was taken by Fisher. It was a shocking kick. He got a bit lucky then, Fisher. So the ball will come back to Gibbs. Interesting stage of this match. The Blues get the next and they push it to 4.5 goals. Next for the Suns. And it's really gettable. 16 points. Curnow, Thomas, Fisher, Sard. In the end, Lonigan. Little handball. Cripps. He stands up. Leslie in the end. Oh, somehow right. He had nothing to work with, but he's fought his way through it. He's kicked a gem.
Outstanding pressure from the Carlton forwards. They just kept at the Suns, kept at the Suns. They were nervous. They were on their goal line. They didn't want to rush, didn't want to concede. And well done. He put some league pressure on young Zach Fisher. What a find he is. Had over 20 pressure acts last week for the Blues, and that's his job inside forward 50. So Cripps lays the tackle, and look at them, they're just swarming right. Fisher is there. A great goal. And that's Zach Fisher. Wright's a consistent goal kicker. I just love Fisher. He just wants to get over and get involved in things. Not getting a lot of the ball at this stage of his career, but he's putting on plenty of pressure.
I reckon there would have been a lot of Blues fans not knowing how Matty Wright was going to turn out. As you said earlier, Darcy, he hasn't missed a game. Kicked 22 last year. More than earning his keep.
Yep, giving great value, Wright. That was a big goal at a big time for Carlton. Casbolt! Oh, he just ghosted in from the side. And in the end, an uncontested mark. Not good enough for the Suns defenders.
This man, Casbolt, is one of the best contested marks in the game. And to allow him, on a long high ball, to allow Casbolt to run in like this and get a jump at it, that's not good enough. He is the best contested mark maybe in the competition, and you're allowing him to run and jump at it.
Well, good look at the improved kicking style of Levi. Now, that's a fair moz from me. He can't believe it. What's he done wrong? Oh, it's a pretty high ball drop, wasn't it? Didn't guide it the way he has been, and disappointing miss.
Hasn't kicked it perfectly tonight, but he's had a huge improvement. Sav Rocker done a great job. 18-6 coming in tonight. And then the Suns have got pressure on them at halfback, but Lonigan almost threw it at Sexton in the end, and Cruiser, who's had a remarkable year, comes and does some ferreting. Ball over. 29-point lead. The Blues have missed some shots that they would hope to get most weeks. So the set shot kicking from the Blues, the errant and wayward set shots of 5-7, all bar 2 probably you'd think should have been goals, have kept the Suns in it, but it is nudging on a 5-goal game. Can the Suns work their way into that margin? Matera Over the top in the end. Lynch got a bit of shelter in the end and couldn't complete the deal. Hall's pushed forward. Free kick, which way is it going?
Well, that sums it up, doesn't it? That's the first time tonight that Carlton have allowed them that transition that they're so good at. And that's referred pressure. Lynch just relaxed on an easy mark. And that's because Carlton have been all over them all night, and you start believing players are there when they aren't.
It's the first time we've seen a real Gold Coast passage of play build up from half-back. They transferred it through the middle of the ground, and then Tom Lynch, I don't think I've ever seen him drop a mark like that. Cruiser, as Hammer said, he's having a great year, Matty Cruiser. Last month in particular, out the back days, Casbolt will mark it every day of the week. Levi's got Jack Silvani offering up the lead. And chipping in, though, was Swallow. Still on edge, the Blues coach, Brendan Bolton.
Stay clear.
Haven't quite been able to put the Suns away. He's right. A quiet night for the big man, Curnow. It's been a familiar theme of numbers back in defence. Well done, Lemons. Created this opportunity single-handedly. The clever handball from Ablett to Sexton. Gives it across Matera. And the Suns get one back against the flow of play. Really important goal, and every man on the ground should go to Sean Lemons and get around him, Richo, because it was his brilliant tackle pressure, and they go and find him now. Created that goal.
Yeah, outstanding stuff from Lemons. Everyone gets around him. Tira gets the goal on the scoreboard, but he created it. Big turnover at half-back. Levi Casbolt turned it over in a really bad spot. Yeah, Carlton had players out everywhere there, and unfortunately for Levi Casbolt, he turned it over. And the Suns then had players out forward of the football the other way.
Well, Lynch in the middle now to Lyons. Hurried ball to half-forward. Lemons again involved.
Gee, that's a good mark. That is a great contested mark. 50 metres.
Come back, come back.
Well, this game's changed in the last 90 seconds.
Thank you, Alex.
Don't want to be giving them away. Bryce Gibbs getting over to Plowman.
Back-to-back goals for the Suns. Matera, then Lemons. And remarkably, the margin is just 17. So a moment ago, Levi Casbolt is lining up for a goal, and they're about to make it a really uncomfortable margin, push through 30 points. Misses. Matera ends up kicking a goal. Lemons follows up. The margin's under 3 goals.
Well, the Suns are finally getting it right at the contest, Hamish. Leading contested ball and clearances this quarter, the first time for the night. Look at that. That is a contested mark. And they're finally winning the ball around the contest. The first one for the night. They're 19-15 contested possession, 6-3 in the clearances this quarter. That gives their forwards a little bit of a chance to get first look at it for the first time tonight as we have a look at the 50 here. Brandon Matera went over and had a crack at Marchbank, and it's always the retaliator, isn't it? It's always the person coming back that gets caught.
Well, here come the Suns. All of a sudden, Richo, the young gun Ainsworth, high floating ball. Jones has been fantastic, got in front again. The tackle pressure's gone up from the Gold Coast. Can they lay another one right? Slipped over as he kicked it. May sliding in. Cunningham giving a contest. Joyce picks it up. So they've got some momentum at the moment. Kolajasny. Lynch has been really quiet. Jones has had his measure. Well done again, Jones. Recovered well, though, Lynch. The big man snapped round the corner. There's Carlton players everywhere. Oh, Sexton! What a leap. Matera couldn't get it. Simpson stood up. And he clears defensive 50 to Gibbs.
Gee, Simpson was good there to get outside 50.
With momentum in the first half, all Carlton. Suddenly things feel very different. Last 2 goals of the game for the Gold Coast Suns. Saad lost his feet. Still got the handball in the Lonergan direction. He picked it up, worked it to May. He tried to get it to Swallow and somehow ends up on his feet with the football. Works it inside 50, throw. And this, perhaps, for 3 Suns goals on the bounce.
It's not rocket science, this game, is it? I mean, Carlton smashed the contest in the first half and thoroughly deserved their win. Finally, the Suns are getting an advantage there, and it just builds confidence. You get first use, your forwards get a good look at it. The midfielders can then push in and press in and help the forwards, and here's the throw. Clear throw.
Didn't need to be a throw at all, just needed to change the momentum of the ball.
This is a massive kick.
This for 3 in a row.
Just kills the momentum, doesn't it, when you're coming like this and you miss shots like that.
So they're 2-5 from set shots now, the Suns. How things have changed since that miss from Levi Casbolt about 7 minutes ago.
Sean Lemon should take a bow at the moment. He has been involved in all the positive work in the last handful of minutes. Can they trap it in again? Or colliding the Carlton players. Charlie Curnow is one of them, swallows a class act. Kick round the body. Oh, almost Hall. Ablett's back on the ground. Right, dropped it. No free kick. Picked up by Hall. Lyons snap round the body. 3 in a row, Gold Coast. Lyons gets his second. Where did this come from?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Rocket Eade changed a few things at half-time. He evened it up, the little fella. I'm not sure he's liking the noise. His mum or grandma there would be liking the scoreboard, though. They're coming back.
I hope you got that right, one of them, Richard.
I just had to have a crack at both. Oh, look at that, just pressure, momentum.
So 10-point lead only. Last 3 of the game to the Suns after Wright got the first of the term, and it was 3 in a row to the Blues. They got the last 2 of the second term. A completely different feel about this one now. Just reminding you that the Suns came into this round a game and percentage off 5th. Their season is well and truly on the line right now.
Great tackle.
Thank you.
So can the Blues, who have pretty much owned the first 2 terms and did everything but absolutely dominate on the scoreboard, find a way to get back out to a more comfortable lead? Silvani went searching in the pocket. Curnow couldn't find it, neither Cruiser. So Matera, Lemons and Lyons in the last 8 minutes or so have added 3 goals to the Suns' tally. 7-9 to 6-5. Witt's front spot, knocked it down. Cripps was waiting, Lyons waiting for him.
Thank you. Righty. Let him up.
We've seen Brendan Bolton do laps. We've seen Rocket Eade show his frustration. You would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the Suns' rooms at half-time.
It's game on here at Metricon, and Ablett on cue. Wins a clearance through the hands of Martin. Couldn't quite pick it up. Down there was Sexton. Matera confronted by Daisy. He's had an effective night tonight, Dale Thomas. In goes Wiedering, over the top of him. A number of Suns umpire prepared to let this one go for a long time. Eventually, it is Matera emerged with the footy.
There's that.
They got a loose back, Richard.
Yeah, Simpson's pulled back. They've got to make sure they get back and even that up.
Great effort from Swallow, though. Really worked hard, affected the kick. Lynch has got to contend with a couple. Big mark.
It's his first mark, Tom Lynch. First mark for the night.
Hands it off to Matera. Short one to Swallow. Thought his way through it. Nice slip catch as well from David Swallow. Now he's going to hand it off to Saad. He's just kicked 1 goal 6 in his career. 1 goal 9, in fact. Make that 1 goal 10 in his 38 games of AFL football. Adam Saad. And that one across the face as well.
Game high lead for the Blues, 29 points. When Levi Casbolt was kicking at goal, you thought this would just about break the Suns. You thought it was going to be a 35-point deficit. How wrong we all were at that point. So 9 points the lead now. And that's not going to help out anyone wearing a Suns jumper. Ugly ball into the pocket.
It's actually not a bad result, though. At least they can set up behind the footy here now and try and lock it in.
6 minutes before three-quarter time. Witts and Cruiser, as they've been doing for most of the night. Barlow. Well, skips over the boundary line, no score.
They've got Doherty under control as well. He's only had 2 disposals. Had 21 at half-time.
So Brendan Bolton hiding his frustration with his hand. Andy McKay, Carlton legend next to him. Johnny Barker next to him. An anxious Carlton coach's box right now. Martin tries to work it onto a boot, couldn't quite. Gary lost his feet. Hall tries to burst on through. Martin did get boot to ball, didn't go too far. Barlow, has he? He has. 4 in a row to the Suns. And I'm not making this up. It's a 3-point ball game.
It's unbelievable. What about the momentum swings in football now? Hamish, we saw it at the MCG today. Richmond had a 36-point lead at one stage and lost. And as you said, the Blues were out to a 29-point lead here in a low-scoring game. All of a sudden, it's back to 3 points.
At the 10-minute mark, Casbolt was trying to make it 35 points to lead.
Remarkable turnaround this. It's come from nowhere. Carlton have had so much of the play, and now we've got a 3-point ball game. Cripps, they really needed that one. Surging it forward, Saad picked it up, was tackled and good enough to get it to the Lions. Just wants it forward. Matera, and well done, Simpson. He's had a big night. 7th disposal of the quarter for Cade Simpson. Got it short to Mark Murphy.
Chance to build here.
Umpire said he went off your mark. Now he's got to find a target. Lead provided by Gibbs, pushing it back from Saad.
Disappointing for Saad. Gibbs dropped the mark. Didn't need to push in the back.
So Petrevski-Seton hits the low ball into the pocket again, and at full stretch it's Casbolt, and this probably is where he's more comfortable, outside that nervy range.
Good range, great mark. He's got good hands. He got a really good block on the lead. Just before there was a great block. I'm not sure if it was right in the background. We'll have to have another look at it, but he got a really smart block from a teammate that gave him the space to get out on the lead.
Couple of minor scores tonight for Levi Casbolt. 18-6 coming into the evening. Not an ideal position in terms of angle, but
that's a shank there. Old Edward Longshanks here at Metricon. The guy in the crowd had hair like Edward Longshanks, actually.
Poor old Sap Rocket. He'll need some stress sleep, I think, after tonight.
that's like just driving off the first and putting it straight into the scrub at sort of 45 degrees.
Hard to come back from that one is Silvani. He's a clean player, Jack Silvani. Out to Bryce Gibbs, Doherty. And can't get one back here. From behind, it was Lamb who gave the contest. Rosa back there, bends in the Witts direction. Well done, Cruiser with athleticism and skill. Picked it up at ground level, got it through to Fisher. He's surging in the direction of Murphy. Suns defenders working overtime. Umpire really letting it go a long time. He's been consistent with that tonight. Petrevski-Seton, and eventually it comes out again. Picked up by Cripps. Shrugged the tackle, hammered into the head of Sard. Murphy couldn't get it. Hanley worked his way through. The big man whips. And Jones again in the one-on-one, Richo.
Yeah, he's been good in the one-on-ones. Only one mark, Tommy Lynch.
Oh, the kick had Ablett in the vicinity. That's always dangerous. Lynch working back hard. He's got a mismatch. He's got Doherty. They'll kick it in his direction. Kick wasn't great. Can the big man pick it up? Get around Doherty. He's got athleticism. Just hasn't been his night, though.
Gee, Doherty did well. He was back behind the footy, but he just did really well to get on to Lynch, who made a great run through the middle of the ground. Wasn't a great kick to Lynch. Just needed to get it over Doherty's head and let him use the height advantage. Just put it too far out into space.
And a great 15 minutes for the Gold Coast Suns. Trailed by 29. suddenly within reach. 3-point ball game. Cruiser hurriedly. Charlie Curnow, Matty Wright couldn't quite work it out between themselves. Wright desperate for the football, ends up with it. Well done, Fisher. Handball wasn't so good. Sexton, hurried kick. Couple of Blues waiting for it. And this impressive youngster from the West finds himself in the back pocket with a scoreline which I'm sure he, 15 minutes ago, didn't think was coming. Charlie Curnow, Casbolt 2, Petrevski Seaton at the fall of the ball. Gibbs through traffic. Boakhurst well handled by Pierce Hanley in the end, just blocked in, went back and got the bouncing ball. And then Mackenzie Willis. Had a look at Jesse Joyce, couldn't quite find him. Trying to keep it in Daisy Thomas, almost. Talk about season shaping halves and terms and quarters. We've got one coming up for the Gold Coast Suns.
Yep, a huge amount riding on this. Their home ground.
And the Blues, just a chance to stay alive. Swans stayed alive today. Got to 5 wins. Blues can do the same.
Curnow brothers combine. Right. He's drawn the free kick. And he certainly made the most of it. Not impressed his little master Ablett. Matthew Wright. Going to give Casbolt a look at it. A lot of numbers back there for Gold Coast, and Leslie this time with the defensive mark. So the last 4 goals of the game have been the Gold Coast. Really looked at one stage as this that it's really going to be a long way back. They found a way. Here's Ablett. A little slick handball, but a sleight of hand. And a little 50-50 starting to go the way of the Gold Coast at the moment.
Let it up, boys.
Yeah, if Carlton would have win, that'd be 15th on the ladder, but a game out of the 8.
Have a look at the live ladder. I'll be fascinated to see if the Suns can have a win where it puts them. Their percentage is poor, as we know, but their 6th win. Richmond came into the round, had a loss today against the Swans. They came in with 7 wins, so they'll just be a game off Richmond, who sit outside the 4. Percentage not helping them. Look at this.
Thank you, mate.
So this is as it stands now. A goal and things change remarkably for the Gold Coast Suns. They skip up to, what would they be? They jump ahead of Fremantle, who've got 78.5%. Peter Wright used his hands well. Rosa, low ball to Ainsworth, who used his spring and then really strong hands. Pressure came from behind from Simpson. So how mature are the Blues? How willing are the Suns? Half forward, Lynch, Jones front spot. Wiedering couldn't quite find his man, wanted Cunningham. Somehow Martin got hold of the football but gave it off to Ed Curnow. High one to the wing, Casbolt. Chance still for the Blues, they've got time. If it stays in, well, the setup now for the Suns will help hold the ball in. 12 seconds before the final change. 29-point margin, 10 minutes into this 3rd term. Levi Casbolt, Mr. Couple. The Suns, the last 4.
Cripps trying to muscle his way through. Jesse Joyce, Lonergan. Clever little kick forward from Gibbs, but there will be no further score in the 3rd quarter. And May and Casbolt will stay with this for a moment because Stephen May thought about it and decided that that wasn't wise. So at 3-quarter time, that was the quarter where the Suns made their move. They trail by 3 points, 79-51 Carlton. The Suns are 7-6-48. Do not go anywhere. Huge final quarter coming up.
As I said, this last quarter is pivotal for the chances for both clubs into the finals. The 3rd quarter saw the defining moment of Casbolt going forward in that turnover. This last quarter is set to be a cracker.
Yeah, in the last quarter, he's starting with Carlton with the +1. Starting with 5 forwards, Carlton. We'll see if the Suns even that up. Doherty's the man. Will come off the back of the square here loose.
The final chapter of a Saturday night on the Gold Coast. It's the Blues by 3. Fisher and Barlow collide. Fisher ends up with the football, squeezes it forward. Chance for Lamb. Had to be quick, works it inside the forward 50, but May is waiting around the corner. He goes to Rosa.
How good was that by Fisher, coming off the back of the square?
One of these impressive youngsters for the Blues with less than 20 games next to his name. There's 8 of them out there. May, kick, skids off the ground and into the hands of Sexton. Over the top to Barlow. He kicked the last goal for the Suns in that third term. Long ball. Going to land about 30 from home for the Suns. Cruiser got a fist to it. Here's a chance for Hall. Picks up the ball cleanly, fires it, goal. It is across the face, and the margin is just 2 points.
Liam Jones had a big night. Richo really been so solid in the one-on-one contest. Tom Lynch has had no meaningful impact.
Lynch hasn't been able to move him in the one-on-ones. He's been really strong in the body. Lynch hasn't been able to shift him. He's done a good job.
Kept him goalless so far in the game. Casbolt, brilliantly read by Swallow. All the Blues numbers back here. One of them is Doherty, and that won't be staying in.
That's the thing with Lynch. Can Jones keep it going for another 20 minutes here? Or can Lynch be a match winner for his team? That's a fascinating duel.
Keep an eye on Ablett lurking around this contest. Witts in front, just pushed off his man. Gazza was slapped back the other way to Thomas. Now Cripps, tackle pressure applied by Ablett. He's wanting a deliberate out of bounds and not forthcoming.
But Lynch has just got to keep launching at it. One might stick. Might be the goal, might be the mark that can win the game for the Suns. Same for Casbolt down the other end.
Cripps brilliant in the end to Gibbs. In the tackle, found a way to get the left hand on the ball and knock it in his direction. Casbolt, May gets help from Leslie. Leslie left the football behind. Curnow couldn't knock it to right. Good one from Joyce, ends up with Hall, threads it back inside Sard. Well done. Gets into his move and then starts to roll. Swallow inside with the right boot, works out well to Barlow. Marks in front of the youngster in Marchbank. So Barlow quickly on to Kolajasny. He wants his left, finds it, and into the hot spot. Out the back is Ed Curnow, comes off his knee. Cripps just lunges at the football, couldn't get there. Curnow to Fisher, boot to ball again, lost his feet in the middle, did Charlie Curnow. Leslie kept his, bullets it back in the Lynch direction. Doherty, big flyer. And Liam Jones, he mops up to the cool head of Wiedering. Over the top to Marchbank.
Short one looking for Murphy and Ablett. Some class between those two.
Suns are starting to win the 50-50 contests around the ground, and ultimately that's what's going to decide who wins this match, I think.
Yeah, great to have Brad Saul with us tonight. Saturday night footy down there at ground level. I feel like this one's going to go right down the wire now as Fisher did well. Got it to Gibbs. Bends it down the line. May and Casbolt. Stood away by May. Good follow-up from Fisher. Back to Swallow. One-on-ones everywhere, and Curnow on that occasion read it well. This is a good ball to Fisher. Normally uses it well. He's got an option out wide in Thomas. Jack Silvani's pushed hard. He's got space. Can he get in that direction? They find the man. And it was a really good pattern of play back through the corridor. Silvani found some space and can kick a big goal.
And that's what he's done in his 18-game career, Jack Silvani. I've just seen him find that little bit of space inside 50. Not a massive possession gatherer at the moment, but can find space forward. Runs to the right spots.
Hasn't been overly accurate with a set shot. It's been 25 minutes between Carlton goals. Big moment for the young man, Jack Silvani. He nails it. Oh, well done, young man. He stood up in the big moment. He's got all the makings of a very handy player, Jack Silvani, and that was a big moment for him.
Yeah, he has. I think he's always going to be that half forward that might get 12 or 13 touches, but take 4 or 5 marks, kick a couple of goals. Crucial player in any forward setup. So you can see Silvani there. It was a great run. He knew he had space. He was telling his teammates not to come up into that space, to keep going towards goal.
Well, not for the first time, as Silvani does something for the Blues when they need something to be done. Out to 8 points again. Oh. Advantage played. Advantage taken. Martin kicks the goal back to 2 points, just like that.
Bang.
A chuckling Rocket E. He can't believe what has happened. And I didn't think I'd see Rodney Eade smiling at any stage tonight after the first 15 minutes.
No, looked a long way off at that stage. But I guess Carlton didn't put them away when they had a massive advantage. Missed some easy shots. Should have been a lot further in front.
A little amused by this one, Rodney Eade. I think he thought the play on advantage was a little fortuitous their way, and he saw the lighter side of Rocket. Might have been thumping the desk had it gone the other way.
He might have been smiling, but I still reckon there's two of the most stressed individuals in Australia at the moment. They're sitting about 18 feet from each other. Bolton and Eade.
And they're not far from us in the commentary box here as well, Hammer. And I'm told at half-time, he tore the paint off the walls, Rocket, with one of the great half-time addresses. And they have responded, the Suns. They've got it through Sard. Can they go again? Ainsworth, dispossessed by Doherty, Silvani. Oh, great stuff, young Jack. Playing a big game tonight. It's a good-looking ball too. Petruski-Seaton, Sard, got to get back. Sard fell over. Petruski-Seaton didn't. Oh, good effort. Stayed in. Can't believe it. Dale Thomas put a nice move on Rosa. Tried a second one. Daisy with a bit of class. Couldn't quite get it to Gibbs. Overrunning at Ablett. Wright gets back, and the Suns can reload the other way.
Lyons on the outer side, takes a bounce. Doesn't get flustered, looks inside. Happy to go forward, and then, well,
he didn't. He had no forward presenting at him. They wanted a miracle 60-metre kick over the back.
he didn't look happy to go forward, but there was nothing doing inside. And then in the end, it was just get some territory. It comes back.
Nick Barlow was down the line, but he's going to probably get it here, but he wanted it over the back.
May to Ablett to Barlow, off hands. Quickly Simpson used his right, doesn't often do that. Williamson over the top. And then Petruski-Seaton, who's covered some miles, was doing some good things in the forward pocket about 60 seconds ago. So a quarter an hour of football ahead on a Saturday night. It'll determine so much in this 2017 season.
He's got one-on-ones, Gibbs. Oh, well done, Witts.
Witts gets into the spot. Casbolt crashes from behind. In the end, it was just the look-away handball. Works out well for Rosa. Around the corner, the one-on-one. Barlow and Williamson. Williamson, the youngster, did well. Wiedering, the teenager, picks up to half-forward. Front spot, Cripps against May. Fisher, what a footballer he is. Starting to have an influence. Casbolt, Petruski-Seaton, cruising on through. Boakhurst went low. Why? Low.
Oh, there's some big one-on-one battles going on now. Good pressure in the end.
Still a strange decision to go along the ground when the man in Hanley was standing on the goal line. Here's Cripps, picked up by the defender in May. That might come back. Well done, Fisher. Simpson, I should say, of course. Cade Simpson, what a night he's had. 30th possession coming up, and Gibbs, well, that was a bit too easy in the end.
Oh, they'd be disappointed. The Suns, Rocket Eade. They had every player except Tom Lynch inside their defensive 50. They let Gibbs find space, who's had a huge night.
And these are big moments where you want your leaders to stand up. He's had a huge amount of the footy. They dominated the first half. They've been throwing the challenge down now. He sucks in a big breath, Bryce Gibbs. He's going to take all his allotted time. Distance shouldn't be an issue. 221st game for Carlton tonight. Can he stand up when they need him? He can, Bryce Gibbs. He wanted to leave last year, but he stayed and he's delivered. And that is an important moment. Back out to 8 points. And he just took the pressure on nicely, Richo.
He did. He wanted to kick it. Simpson had to sit under that high ball for a long time. He did. He took a nice chest mark. Not easy to take. The ball was swirling everywhere. He took that intercept mark and then had the poise to get it to Gibbs. What a great kick from Gibbs. Really keeps his head over the footy, Bryce Gibbs, when he kicks. And there's the Carlton fans willing it home. And they're out again.
It was a big moment.
Yeah,
he handled the occasion well. And the Blues skip out to 8 points, but we're a long way from home. Barlow again just works the ball inside 50. Big moment at the other end of the ground now for David Swallow.
Carlton get the goal, get it back out to just over a goal and a half. And Suns have got it straight out of the middle again. Goal for goal here.
So #1 draft pick at one end of the ground moments ago makes the margin 8. David Swallow. Squeezes it through. Margin is 2 again. Well, we've seen a lot of set shots missed throughout the course of the evening. Both of those crucial. You reckon if they can continue to trade blows these two sides for the next 11.5 minutes, there's going to be something remarkable in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, you can see one big act winning the game at the moment. Might be a big clearance out of the middle, might be a big mark forward. Cracking game we've got on our hands now. Goal for goal in the last quarter, becoming crucial, these centre breaks.
So this coming when the Blues had a lead of as much as 29 points at one stage and were cruising to victory.
Just looking down there now. No loose players back.
It's interesting, young Ainsworth in his first year is the deepest forward at the moment. Got a one-on-one. Jesse Joyce draws the free kick. They peel off and run forward. Hanley's a good option. Always likes to take the game on. Stepped inside Murphy, did it nice. And the Irishman, Lynch has had a quiet night. Cruiser.
Brilliant. Cruiser got back and helped his defence.
Love your big ruckman doing that, Richo.
Chopped off a certain mark to Lynch.
So Charlie Curnow now. Driving ball, May. Couldn't have been any easier for him, and he just sets the Suns going again. Sexton's chosen.
Ablett's got a bit of space.
He's the one that's chosen. Inside. No, happy to go himself. Works it into good hands. Martin kicked a goal about 8 minutes ago, and he's looking for another now. This for his third.
I doubt there was another player on the ground there. When Ablett took that ball, I thought he was going to get tackled. He was under real pressure. Look at that class. That is absolute class from one of the best of all time.
So we've been playing for 101 minutes, and the Blues have been in front for 100 of them. Took them a minute to score. Casbolt at the 10-minute mark of the third, trying to make it a 34-point margin. He missed, it was 29. Martin has put the Suns in front for the first time. Whoever's writing the scripts right now, week by week, is doing a pretty good job of it.
It's a great year, isn't it? It's just got a bit of everything. Twists and turns. So much excitement.
So Ablett copped a knock just before he just kicked that ball inside 50 in that incident there. I don't think there's a lot in. He came off the ground. They're having a quick look at it. They need to get him back out there. Need him in these centre clearances. Can the Blues respond now?
2 metre Peter did pretty well there. Got down low. Rosa sunk the slipper into it and almost missed it. Through came Barlow. Almost like a rugby try. He's holding his ankle. Barlow behind play. And he's put his hand up too, Michael Barlow. Let's hope Nothing too serious as Gary Ablett takes a rest. Now, you know, he had that horrific broken leg hammer all those years ago, and enormous amount of courage it took for him to come back, but
you sense he knows right now.
Yeah, he put his hand up straight away, didn't he? Didn't move.
Resignation from him there, isn't there?
Let's hope that it's too bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's just really hard to watch that, isn't it? Oh, no, that looks really bad. And
you don't want to see that again.
Just hoping that that isn't as bad as it looks. And, well,
that's horrible for Michael Barlow.
You could see the way he was sitting there, calmly, knowing he could not move. He said to the trainers, I'm done here.
I think you go into a bit of shock, don't you?
Yep.
What a courageous individual he's been to come back from that first one. The first broken leg at Fremantle was just one of the worst we've seen, and come back and been a sensational player. He's so respected, straight into the leadership group in his first year at the Gold Coast Suns. And well, we're thinking of Michael Barlow and thinking of him. Let's hope that is somehow better than it looks.
It was his left leg that he broke in Fremantle. It just looks low down to be.
Yeah, it's a left leg again.
It's tough for all the players out there when something like this happens. You've got to try and keep your mind on the job, but your thoughts are with your team.
We're watching Mitch Wallace in the rooms with the Western Bulldogs and the effect it had on the players post-match just a few weeks ago.
And I think we're going to hold back on the replays, Hammer. We've seen that a couple of times, and that's probably enough. We'll wait and find out from the doctors, as he will, as soon as we possibly can, and make sure we give all of his family the all clear as soon as we can possibly get it. This is a big delay in play. As you said, Richo, when those moments happen in a game, it's interesting, isn't it? A bit of reflection for everyone, and you sometimes get a chance to feel your mortality on a football field when you see a great mate go down like that, don't you?
The thing about it is that the players can see this, look up at the replay as well. So it's a fair chance they may have seen that replay up on the big screen, and it's horrible. You don't want to see anybody get injured.
Who knows how it plays out for Michael Barlow, but he's 29 now, 30 in December. He's that great story from Shepparton to Werribee to Fremantle, where he just set the world on fire in his opening game, and then a lifeline at the Gold Coast. Game 12 for him tonight. Let's hope we see him on the AFL field again, but he's got the green whistle in his hand.
Believe the composure that man showed there. He just almost didn't flinch, put his hand up and said, I need a bit of help, but you can't describe the courage that it takes to play. A nice moment there from Mark Murphy as well, and that green whistle is an Australian invention, Hammer, many years ago, and immediate pain relief for Michael Barlow. But
is it morphine in the whistle?
I think so. It's pain reliever for him.
Isn't that great that he's been able to sit up and acknowledge his teammates on the way off? He just said something to Gary Ablett on the way off. I can't believe the composure for a man who's been through one of the worst injuries we've seen. It's like our mate Nathan Brown did playing with you, Richo, all those years ago.
I remember Nathan in a similar position to this, and you couldn't believe that he looked so composed coming off the ground.
We did the Sunday morning show with him last weekend, just talking about how much he was enjoying things at the Suns and how much he'd felt like he'd been given a lifeline. Amazing how quickly things can change in this game for a team, for an individual.
Yeah, let's hope that they get in there. And it didn't look great, but just keep your fingers crossed for Michael Barlow.
Absolutely.
Just having a look around the crowd, Michael Barlow, isn't he? It's nice he's been able to sit up, and he's getting a great response from everyone here at Metricon Stadium tonight, and a bit of reflection for him as he goes down. Hammer, as you said, he's 29. He's been around a long while. Let's hope for the best there. Cruiser. In the meantime, this game's got a fair bit to play out. Leslie, Charlie Curnow, Colin Jasny, some good pressure applied by Lamb, and a boundary throwing.
You can pronounce this, Richo. I've just been sent through what is in the green whistle.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll say that correctly, Hamish.
Not quite morphine, but it's certainly pain relief, and it works quickly. You have a crack at it, Darcy. Doesn't matter too much either way as Cunningham tries to work it into the hands of the man on the outer side, and that's Gibbs. Misses him. So back to the football.
Methoxyflurane, I'm going to go with...
Methoxyflurane. OK, 9.5 to play. 4-point ball game. Suns, who've trailed all night, have got in front. 3 of the last 4 goals. Jack Martin has kicked 2 of them. Swallow, an important set shot at the 12-minute mark. So 20 gone. It's going to be a long term with a long wait for Barlow. Over the top to Curnow. Back inside to Murphy. Continues to run. Got rid of the football at just the right time. Cripps to Gibbs. A fumble. A recover. A stop. A shimmy. A shot at goal. It is an absolute pearler. Blues back in front.
He loves it. The glass of Shiraz has nearly gone everywhere, but that was a great step by Bryce Gibbs. His teammates set him up beautifully. Released him into a little bit of space, and then he had the composure to hawk a kick as Rocket E has a look at the stoppage here in the box on the replay to see what went wrong. So there was a couple of release handballs there. Cripps gave it to Gibbs. A nice step inboard, straightened, and he's kicked the last 2 for the Blues.
Fair night he's putting together Bryce Gibbs. 39 possessions, 2 goals, second most in his career. Cripps did really well to Ed Curnow. Forward they go again, right. Great courage. It was Joyce going back. Carlton free kick. Little Matthew Wright's got it.
G. Cruz is pushed forward. Witts is trying to get down there to get onto him. You'll get a good look at this, Cruiser.
Yeah, well called, Richo. He's in the pack. Casbolt, Daisy Thomas. Flick the handle out to Lamb. What can Lamb do? Squeeze the handball back. It's going to end up with Jack Silvani. Clever little kick around the body from Jack. Oh, no! Levi's dropped a howler. You couldn't believe it. Well, that sums it up from Levi. The kick was just caressed perfectly.
Look at Pierce Hanley gave up. He thought, oh, no, look at Hanley. Big try.
I have no words to describe that one.
Well, can Casbolt make amends? He owes the Blues one here. Cunningham tries to work his way through the pack. Couldn't quite. Witts, the big man, becomes a rover, goes to ground, held up.
Thank you, buddy.
They've just steeled up here, Carlton, in the last minute or so.
Thank you, Jared.
They look super determined to win another close one.
So important the players don't take fright, don't get spooked, continue to play brave football. Here's a chance for Silvani onto his left boot. He's shaped it, he's worked it, he's goaled it. Carlton out by 8. Well, Levi Casbolt will be feeling better now.
Oh, that's made him feel a lot better. That was class from Silvani. Used his body beautifully. Got his opponent under the footy, and then had the skill and poise to finish on his left leg. Great answer here from Carlton. Some big individual efforts. That was great from Silvani, and he loved it.
This feels like a breakout game, doesn't it, for Sauce's son Jack tonight. Just his 19th game of AFL football. Sure, beneath that, very proud dad here tonight. He's been outstanding, Jack. Petrescu seems wrapped up. And correct decision from the umpire. Plenty of time left. I feel like there's another twist or turn remaining in this one. Hall trying to muscle his way through. Rosa. Cruiser again. Well done, Witts, though. Stopped him dead in his tracks. The Lions kick comes out. Handball from right, back to Hall. Lemons in front. He's had some good moments tonight, Lemons. Lynch has been beaten tonight by Jones. Simpson wants the boundary line. Lemons through it to Matera.
Still goalless, Tom Lynch. Liam Jones. Take your hat off to Liam Jones.
So Doherty, who has been so instrumental in setting the Blues up tonight. Here's Cunningham, Long ball to half forward. They've got the numbers here, the Blues. Cripps knew that, just pushes it forward, puts it in front of Lamb. Inside to Charlie Curnow. Can they make it? 2 in a row, and again, an odd choice. I think he had a lot more time than he realised.
He thought he was super hot there, Charlie Curnow.
Joyce, lead provided by Sexton.
They've just won the bigger one-on-one battles, the contested ball, since Michael Barlow went off the ground. They had a long break, and the Blues have won all the crucial contests since then.
Liam Jones, what a night for him. Unbelievable story, isn't it? He was gone for all money, career over. They sent him back to the VFL. He played 6 games down there, I think, in defence, Hammer.
Is it definitely the same Liam Jones?
It might be a twin brother. They were hiding down in Tassie somewhere because...
Well, he's just playing the ball on its merits. He's not getting preoccupied with his man, Tom Lynch. The ball's there to be won in the air. He wants to mark it. He doesn't just want to defend.
Now the other end, Cruiser from the side, Cripps. Silvani looking for a 3rd goal. Sard, Petrescu, Seaton. Huge pressure for the Suns. Man down behind play. It might be Cruiser. Picked up by Casbold and just snuck it in for a behind. The big man, Cruiser. Let's have a look.
Ooh. So Hall collecting Matty Cruiser. The equation is simple enough for the Suns. 2 goals, 5 minutes and change. Matera just hurriedly out of the air to half forward. Race is on. Peter Wright got there. Doherty did a good job. Big tackle, ball spilt. Wiedering to Doherty. And then he measures the kick down the line. Casbolt, no mistake this time.
It was a good play by the Suns down the middle. It nearly came off. Peter Wright just couldn't quite take the ball cleanly, and Doherty, as he always is, mops up.
Happy to hug the boundary line, Levi Casbolt. Tall timber, go up it together. There's Witts and Cruiser. Cruiser couldn't quite. Joyce, Willis, Witts, Rosa. And now over the top, Doherty. He and Lemons have had some good contests all night. Off the ground, a chance for Lonigan, did well. Hall, Matera, full stretch Swallow, couldn't control the football. And Simpson and Doherty, who have been marvellous at halfback all night, combine again. Curnow and Ablett, they've been seeing a lot of each other all night too, and Cunningham gets involved.
They're the dynamic duo down there, Simpson and Doherty. They've both had... Doherty's had 28, Simpson's had 31. Play Carlton in the next few weeks. You need to make sure you get a hold of those 2. Can't let them free-wheel back there.
They've become a very hard side to play against Carlton. Credit to Brendan Bolt and his team. Suns need the next goal. They need it quickly. Petrescu, Seaton can't get through.
And they're just teaching those young defenders around them. Plowman, Wiedering, Marchbank. Jones back in, taking the #1 forward. He's got a good look about it.
They're hard to score against. GWS just kicked 9 goals against them last week, and a big win for them. Lonigan sends them forward. Swallow, good contest with Doherty, overrun by Ablett. Sexton, he tried to surge it forward. And in the end, we'll have it thrown in. So 4:15 remaining, 10-point margin. Suns have to kick the next goal.
Blues have got the last 2. Bolton now finds himself on the side of the ground. Gibbs finds himself at half-back. Petrescu seated. Doherty. Well, Matty Wright thought it was going his way.
They need Wright or Lynch to take a mark here.
Kolajasny just gets some territory. Wright, Witts, neither could. Swallow had it, lost it. Martin feeds the handball to Sexton. He in turn to Ainsworth. Off the side of the boot again. It's Simpson.
That's just experience. They're always in the right spot. Just read the play so well.
Still plenty of time if you're a Suns fan. An eternity if you're a Blues fan. Boakhurst on the outer side. Quickly over the top by hand. Bouncing ball for Cunningham.
Blues around again here. Cruiser's pushed himself forward. May, got to keep it in, May. They need to take a risk, and he couldn't. And precious seconds tick by. So something special required from here for the Gold Coast. Ablett, 24 disposal night for the Little Master. He's battled hard. They need it in the hands of Saar. They need something special. Can they get it moving? Lottingham trying to cut back in. Well done, Petrescu, Seaton. This is a big one-on-one. Doherty just corralling Sexton, and then won the footy to Silvani. He's had a big night, Jack.
Well, there's the difference. Sexton wasn't clean, Doherty was.
There's Brendan Bolton, who's...
slow it down, slow it down.
Yeah, it's a pretty good message. Found his way to ground level. 2:51 on the clock.
So the Blues, led by 29, 10 at min-mark of the third term. And then the Suns kicked 4 in a row. Somehow the Blues have settled, composed themselves after losing the lead, have regained it. Well done in the end, Plowman. Saw Wiedering. Wiedering was outside of the field, play step back inside. Now Cripps, some of these young names having big moments in this game. Gibbs, top of the square. Chance for Lamb, 2 grabs. Will mop up a heap of time. And he'll kick from about 25 out directly in front.
That was Cripps. Cripps and his clean hands that releases teammates. He just makes his teammates look really good, Patrick Cripps. He sets them off into space. But he's where it starts. 10 clearances tonight again for Patrick Cripps.
So Jed Lamb has a minor score next to his name. Just to make it a good thing for the Blues. So Brendan Bolton right now is feeling like he's a long way from home. He's slightly less stressed than he was 15 seconds ago, but I reckon if you're a coach, all you do is think of worst-case scenarios.
Yeah, I think he's okay now, hey.
Okay.
I don't think they can kick 3 in a minute 45.
Well, would you like to go down and ask him? I still reckon
they would still be worried a little bit. So the Blues, immediately they've gone into the mechanism to shut things down now. Thrown all the numbers back. Only got 2 forwards at this centre bounce. They would have trained for this situation.
And you get a good look with Joe at how well coached the side is in these circumstances. And they have set up Carlton as quickly and as efficiently as anyone in that situation. They had all their numbers back. They had him in the right spot. Bolton's at ground level, firing instructions. He wants them to slow it down. Nice pick up from Lamb. He was equally well tackled by Rosa. So May, no choice apart from that one through the middle of the ground. Liam Jones, what a night for that man.
He's held Lynch goalless.
Extraordinary effort. Simpson's been outstanding.
1 mark for Lynch.
Incredible numbers they are. And Hall takes the mark. He played on, no doubt about it. Good call from the umpire. Witts slowly stepped around back to Hall, and now Kolodjasny through the middle of the ground. They needed more of this earlier. Pierce Hanley, some leg speed, well done by Curnow. Held him up, right, fisted away from him. Ed Curnow back there now. Doherty couldn't quite get it. Ed Curnow again wants the boundary line. I reckon this will be deliberate. Yes, it is.
Well, it will matter not. The Blues have got the job done at Metricon as Jones again and Lynch continue to fight for the ball. It's Peter Wright. He snaps. He gets something late. He doesn't get enough. Brendan Bolton still sending the messages. When you have a look at the score sheet and you have a look at Tom Lynch's numbers and you go across to the last column, goals and behinds, and it reads 1 minor score only. Liam Jones take a bow.
Yeah, he was very, very good tonight. Just really good in the body contest that he did have with Lynch. And Lynch is a player with a pretty big tank for his size, and something Liam Jones has probably had criticism about in his career, covering the ground, and he's obviously worked super hard at it because he hasn't given Lynch an inch tonight.
Well, this will be a big night for the Blues. Ablett to Swallow. They search forward again, Hall. Just going to dump this one long. Maturity for Matera, picked up by Wettering. And the young gun couldn't quite keep it in, but the siren is imminent, and Carlton will record their 5th win for the season. And if you're a Blues fan, you can celebrate tonight. Look at the smile on Liam Jones's face. Jack Silvani loves it. Carlton have beaten GWS and Gold Coast in back-to-back weeks.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. We're all the champions they like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
Well, when there's joy, misery isn't often far away. And Rocket Eade, what a roller coaster ride it was for him in the coach's box tonight. Down by a lot, in front only briefly. They're in front when Michael Barlow went down. It was 7 minutes in total. As we can see, Brad Sewell, he's just sidled up alongside of Bryce Gibbs. Sully, the numbers, 43 disposals for Bryce Gibbs,